as we come closer to the election time in November, do you think it's going to get out of hand? I mean, when I have a hand, let's kind of rate it. Civil War, just bad ads. All right, so scale 1, bad ads. Scale 10, Civil War. Where do you think it's going, Greg?
I'm
As,
going to
as we
say an
approach
eight.
November.
I'm going to say
Eight.
an eight. I think we're going
Okay.
to see a
What?
lot of problems.
Yeah. What would
I
happen in
think
an
we're going
eight?
to see. Well, I'm expecting. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't
No,
have
it's
a
just
crystal
it's
ball,
just your
but
opinion.
I'm expecting. I'm preparing for the possibility of sleeper cells just being awakened, and maybe some of these illegal immigrants who are criminals. We know they are. They're going to just
Some of them are
suddenly
admitting it.
create havoc and start blowing buildings up, and who
Yeah.
knows what. I expect
Well,
to
the
see more of
FBI
that
did a
than we have
warning
in a
on
long
that.
time.
All right. 1 to 10, John.
I think it's going to be the most vitriolic, horrible, just spew crap on both sides. That it's a lot of people are just going to just cash out. They're not going to pay attention to it.
So
And then you get the hardcore myopic tribalism on the both sides that will. I love this. This is great. You're evil. No, you're evil. No, you're evil. And they'll demonize each side to
Yeah.
the point of any normal thinking person with an independent thought will just check out because it's disgusting.
You know
And
what I
it's
think?
sad because I
Okay.
have been, I have hold my views very strongly, and you
Yeah.
kind of probably have an idea what they are. But at the same time, I do want to reach out to people who think differently than I do, because we're not enemies. But there are, false flags and other things like that to be. I'm expecting them this year, and it's who knows how it's going to end up.
And
military is
what
going to get
happened?
called in or whatever. We're on the same side, we're citizens.
Are you
And what
prepared,
happened
Greg,
to
for
the-
this 8 that
Yeah,
you're
I've done
expecting?
I'm a prepper a little bit. I'm not
Okay,
over
okay.
the top prepper, but a little bit.
What do you got?
And what happened to debate,
No.
right?
Okay,
It
hold
started-
on, John. I
Well,
want to
this
hear
is
what
why
how Greg. All right,
This is okay. Go
I
ahead.
want to hear how
What
he's
did you-
prepared. He says it's
Oh,
gonna be
I-
8. I want to know if he's
I
prepared.
got a bunch of food, and I got all my supplies and stuff, and ready for power outages possibility. I got a few things.
The backup generator.
I don't have one. I
You got
would
a
like
well?
to get. I have a no. I don't have that either. So I'm not as prepared as I should be. So I'll
All
admit
right,
it.
John.
I do have a little stand to put my generator on. I'm planning on getting
And
one.
if Russia deploys their Space Wars nuke and depletes our satellites, it will be absolutely catastrophic and devastating.
So what do you think it's going to be? 1 to 10.
Well, that was kind of off topic. I think it'll be an 8, and people will just tune out if we're talking specifically this election cycle.
Yeah, just between now and November.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be it, and the whole thing. It's like, well, what happened currently in Russia, where the opposition was jailed and died in prison, and so what was the guy's name? But they asked our current president what he thought of that. I'm like, isn't the DOJ doing the exact same thing? We don't have the moral high ground anymore.
Biden doesn't have the moral high ground on anything.
But I just found that ironic. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. If it's an 8, if you think it's 8, then that would be some terrorist acts, some violence, riots, right?
well, depend. Now, I do think there's a foreign threat of terrorism because of they're exploiting the border,
Yeah.
and we're getting people from all over the world. That has nothing to do with this election, right? This has to do with bad players trying to infiltrate our system.
The question is, how organized are they? I think they were organized.
I think they're extremely organized.
Getting in
and
here, exactly. So they're going to be organized.
They
That's my
exploited
point.
the hole and the
So if they can
and the FBI did a warning on it.
they're
This
going
is
to do the will of whoever organized them, and
100%.
you decide who that
You're
is.
getting
I
people
have my
from
opinions.
mainland China. You're getting people from Venezuela. You're getting people from Iran. You're getting people everywhere.
It's very
documented
dangerous.
coming through the border, but we'll see.
I gotta give my opinion. I don't
Yeah.
agree. I'm on the opposite. I think it's gonna be a 1.
Uh,
But here's the thing: I'm prepared. I got a well, backup generator, solar panels. I got 2 rivers full of fish, and there's an ocean here. woods that are just cutting down now, so I don't have any place to hunt. But a third of an acre garden, I'm set. But I still think it's gonna be a one. I think I think the terrorists, the terror cells, the illegal immigrants, all of these criminals, I think it's a trap. I think what's a better way to end terrorism? To go all these different countries and round them up, or invite them in where you can track them?
So you think the good guys are letting
They're
it happen
bringing
so
them
that
in.
they can get them all?
They're bringing them in from all over the world.
I don't think the U.S. government
It's a long shot. I
can buy that.
I do. I think
can
they
buy
come
that.
in one.
Track
They
the
come in
8
one
million.
little door. They come in one little gate. They
So
get
you
their
think it's a
cell phones.
honeypot?
They're tracked. I think they're all
Jeff,
about ready to get rounded up.
I'd like to amend what I said earlier about it being an 8.
Okay.
In a certain sense,
Did I
agree
change
with
your
you.
mind? Oh, that
No,
was
no,
a
no, I'm
crazy
not changing my
conspiracy
mind.
theory. I was going to change.
I'm not changing my mind.
Okay.
What I want to say is there is a difference between what's actually going on
Yeah.
and what is optically going on. Now, I believe what's optically going on will reach an 8 or a 9, but it may not actually be all that terrible. It might actually be under control somewhat, and so therefore it would, in reality, it might actually be a 1 or 2, and that's my opinion. So there's two
But if the
two ways
stuff
to look
hit
at
the
it.
fan, I can hunt, I can fish, I can do a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
right? I am strong like bull, so I can
But
strong arm job people if necessary.
how close are you to the edge of the desert and the water? The
I'm very
water
close.
thing's an issue. You got to have that taken care of.
Well, yeah, and we have our water supply is like
Not good.
the Romans. It's like open water canals.
Mm-hmm.
That's very easy.
Kind of easy to
come into
contaminate that. Yeah. All right. Well, good. I think I like mine because it's filled with hopium and has zero evidence to back it up. But like I
You
said,
say
I
hopium? Like
hopium, yeah.
Okay,
So,
hopium.
I'm deluding myself into believing it's going to be a 1. But it really, you got to think about it. I mean, if there were, if you really wanted to round up a lot of terrorists and round up a lot of criminals, even if the rest of the countries are opening their prisons, Venezuela, then you don't need to go to war with Venezuela to stop their drug trafficking and all this. Just make a little deal here. Just open your jails. Let them come here. We got a little gate. It's kind of, I mean, you've seen these rabbit traps. It's a little door, and you kind of guide them in, and then you close it down, and you bring them into you.
I think you're giving the government way too much credibility.
It's not the
Very
government.
I don't think it's the government.
Military.
Yeah, I think it's the military. I think it would be the military and some
That's
form of.
part of the government.
There's
They
different
take orders.
factions.
I know,
of
all right.
Commanders in chief. Commander in chief.
So when you say government, I think of bureaucracy,
That's
and with
what it is.
but military, I think it's kind of like. I know, Greg. You explained. There's the corporation of the United States.
So you
and
think there's a coup behind the scenes that's not listening to the
yeah.
orders?
Have you read Trump's executive orders? That I pulled a few of them up. I
Yeah.
don't think we have time to go over them, but
Were they reversed? Because
No.
that's the thing about
they weren't.
executive orders. They can, like, a lot of them were reversed on day
Here's
one.
here's the oddest thing. You don't put an executive order unless you're planning on implementing it very quick. Trump put a bunch of these in after he already knew he wasn't going to be in there after November.
Mhm.
They're interesting.
He probably knew he wasn't going to be in there long before
If
November.
Biden didn't change them, which he reversed pretty much.
He wouldn't have been
90
able. He wouldn't have been able
110 of
to.
them.
He wouldn't have been able to reverse the ones that
Any
went in.
executive order. you
Not
can.
unless it's that, and not unless you're handing over control to the military. Then the military has to hand it back.
You know, Jeff, I've been
It's odd,
asking
but
this-
it's kind of some people are theorizing, but
I've
and I
been
don't know.
asking this question to myself
Mhm.
quite a bit, and that is, all these illegals, and they're so organized, and yet somehow they're just disappearing into places that we don't know where they are.
That's true.
I've never believed that. I believe that somebody somewhere knows where every single one of them is. That's what I think.
You can track
Or a lot of
every
them.
single person. Google
I
is
mean, my
tracking
gosh, we got
alone is
phones
tracking
nowhere,
every single
everything
person.
about us. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So we know where these people are, even though we're pretending we don't know where the heck they are. I don't believe that.
They've
So the
been doing
question
that
is,
for a long time. Even when they're
the-
trying to entrap the mafia, they didn't let them know they were being followed, and they were
Right.
watching every single move.
I buy all of that,
They're,
but I
they're-
still think we're going to see 8s and 9s in terms of optics. Oh, what the world will appear to be on fire for the next several months. I think that is going to happen.
or it could be
And it's going to
literal.
be worse in the
riots and
cities.
things. Yeah, it is. All right, so where would you move? Where if the cities you live close to the city? Where's the best place for people to move if shit
I'm
does
in
hit
the
the fan?
suburb. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's going to come out. We're going to see a lot of problems in the suburb. That's my opinion.
How far are you from the city?
20 miles.
Yeah, no, okay. John, where do you think?
Rural areas for sure, you'll have water.
What if they're
Because
closing down
if they hit-
states? What if they're
Well,
closing
they-
down
if-
states and
hold on,
someone
if they
separates?
hit our satellites, there'll be
Who's
nothing.
they? All right. I'm thinking
Or
of
after
within. I'm
Russia,
talking.
whoever. It could be easily done. Easily.
No, I don't think. I think it would be.
And all our infrastructure is
Yeah.
dependent on that.
Yeah.
If they hit our satellites, we're talking no water, you'll have it in the rural areas. You will not have it in the cities. You will not have it in
the suburbs.
suburbs.
Right.
It's gone, done, and it's going to take over a year to a year and a half to get that back online. Think about
Really?
it,
Why
just
is that?
and that alone.
Why would
Because
it take so
it's
long to
all-
get water?
It's all linked. They don't have manual overrides. It's a huge vulnerability. There was I think the Senate committee did a hearing on it, and instead of allocating information for the infrastructure and everything else for the waterways and everything else, they just ignore the problem.
All right.
and
Well,
the
what do
bank-
you, you saying? The
banking
water
would go
itself would
down,
take a year to
all-
get back on if it was, and if it was contaminated,
That's it.
it'd be longer than years. But if it was like,
Well, all the recycle or the sewage plants and how they make the water clean. I don't know the exact name of that, and I'd have to get the. But it isn't like when you turn on the tap of water, it has to go through water processing plants and everything else to get there. They're saying, and I'll have to get the information, but they're saying if the satellites hit, they're so dependent on the digital everything.
yeah,
Google, we wouldn't be able to do webcasts. You would get no money out of the bank. All of
Right.
it's down. We're that reliable. And you couldn't just turn a switch to make it over unless you're prepared for it. They're not prepared for it. So it would be absolutely catastrophic and devastating if they hit the satellite.
So what would you do if it happened in Phoenix and your
I
water
would
and
go to the
electricity was
rural-
down? Where would you go?
I would go to the rural areas and I would hunt elk, fish trout, and then drink from well water. That's
Where are you
your
gonna
only
sleep?
option.
There's nowhere to sleep out there. That's not safe. What do you got? Like a van or something? Or would you sleep in your car? What would you do?
It's better than
You're not gonna be able to drive your car. You can run out of gas.
I
at
guess
two.
for me personally, if
I think it's bad. I think it's a bad.
if it ever
scenario.
got to that point, and
There's
I
no
agree with
good,
you, Jeff, I don't think it will. But if it did, my brother-in-laws they have 1,200 acres in Iowa. So I guess I'd probably go there, I don't know.
Yeah, but if everyone's
then-
leaving the city, those roads are gonna be closed down. It's like here for Florida when there's a hurricane. There's
Well,
no
yeah.
getting out of Florida.
anarchy would
That's-
kick in, and then
that's-
Yes,
then
that's
you're-
the big problem.
the-
There's
Then
only
they'd
a
have
couple
to just settle in with where we're at.
the true survival of the fittest would come. So the strongest, the most, the people with the guns, everything else would take over in short order.
Jeff, I agree with you. I don't see that happening. I mean, like
That would be a
whole-
10. That would be a 10.
That would be I don't see
Yeah.
that happening, but I do see a lot of really, really bad optics coming. And people are going to be preparing for that because it'll look so bad that they'll think, wow, it's going to get that way. But then it won't actually get that way. That's what I think is going to happen. Because
I like
I think the military has already thought of all of these things. And
I think I think
we're
they think
gonna-
about
we
24/7.
know, we know, where the really important, choke points are in the culture, and we're not going to let it get that far. That's my belief. I think we're okay as far as the really, really awful civilization changing stuff. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I agree. Or I mean,
This
I
election,
don't think
no.
so.
I was just saying if they knock out our satellites.
Yeah. But I mean, if it was bad for you and me,
Let's
it'd be
make
bad
that
for everybody
another
around us too.
topic and the ramification of knocking out the satellites. See what's
No, you're right.
involved with
What's
that.
It
that?
could be bad.
Let's do another topic on the ramifications of a bad actor taking out our satellites.
Do you gotta go now? I
Uh,
think it's time now.
yeah, I'll have to go. I'm talking next time.
Yeah, we
don't
could
have a
do.
guest.
We could do it. We should also.
And
We should.
that way,
yeah.
I won't be just saying stuff. We'll have the due diligence of this and this could happen.
Yeah.
But that's my greatest fear right there.
Hey, if you like these kind of conversations and you'd like to see more, click like and subscribe to our channel. And if you're at the computer and you'd like to hear the whole podcast, click right here.